You're listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well and that you are enjoying all the football. My name is Damien and I am one half of the Learn English Through Football team, and I am based here in London where it is still raining. In fact, it has been raining every day this year so far. I wonder what the weather is like in Tokyo, where the other member of the team, Damon, is based. How are you, Damon? And what's it like over in Japan at the moment?
Hi there, Damien. All good over here in Tokyo. A bright sunny day and spring seems to be just around the corner.
Now, you posted the football expression dwell on the ball earlier in the week, which is when a player is a little slow on the ball and they lose possession. And I think a lot of the Tottenham players dwelt on the ball against Newcastle, allowing the opponents to score. It's been a tough week for Spurs, as yet again a team that is not in good form leading up to the game, in this case Newcastle, who had lost 4 in a row, but they still beat Tottenham and they beat them easily. Spurs fans use the phrase Dr. Tottenham to explain this, and you can see this in more detail by coming along to our Football Language Forum.
You're listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast.
Of course, Tottenham's bad form and yet another home defeat meant that their manager, Thomas Frank, was sacked. He was fired. And this is what we are going to talk about on today's show, the language of getting sacked. We will also look at a couple of predictions from some of the big games this weekend, an FA Cup tie in England and a top-of-the-table clash in Scotland.
State ascoltando languagecaster.com.
Thank you for that message, which was in Italian. And yes, you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast, or, as we used to be known, languagecaster.com. We will have more of these throughout the show, so try and see how many you recognize. And most importantly, send us your message in your language saying, you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Record it and send it to contact@learnenglishthroughfootball.com. Okay, here's the next stinger.
languagecaster.com.
Any ideas what that language was, listener? Good luck with the others on the show. And talking about the show, it's time for our main focus, which is football phrases and language connected with the sacking of managers. Here's Damien, whose team Tottenham recently sacked their manager, Thomas Frank.
Now, over the years here at LearnEnglishThroughFootball.com, we have talked about lots of language connected to managers losing their jobs. And we thought that it might be a good time to review some of this language after a week when 2 Premier League managers lost their jobs, Thomas Frank at Tottenham and Sean Dyche at Nottingham Forest. Let's look at some examples from the UK national press about that Thomas Frank sacking. Number 1, Tottenham are exploring their options after sacking Thomas Frank on Wednesday morning. That was from The Guardian. Number 2, Frank sacked by Spurs after 8 months in charge, and that's from the BBC. So, Frank has lost his job after bad results and poor performances. And in the first example, Tottenham is the main focus of the sentence. They have done the sacking. They are now looking for a new manager because they have sacked Frank. They have decided not to keep him at the club. In the second example, the emphasis or focus is on Frank. So he has been sacked by the club. Another way of saying this, of course, is fired. The club fired Frank, or Frank has been fired. Other phrases that have been used to describe this situation when a manager leaves a club include to call time on. And this means that the club no longer wants the manager to be there. They have asked him or her to finish their time at the club. Here's another example from the BBC. Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis to call time on Dyche's 4-month tenure as head coach. And this means that the owner, Marinakis, has asked the manager, Sean Dyche, to leave the club. The phrase 4-month tenure is an interesting one and is used to describe a length of time. So we know that Dyche was only employed at Forest for 4 months. His tenure was only 4 months long. So if a club calls time on their manager, it means their time is up and they have to leave. They've been fired. Another word that we might hear and see when a manager is about to be fired or indeed sacked is axed. And this is quite a strong or tough word that suggests the club is not happy with the manager at all. Clubs can also terminate a manager's contract. Terminate means to finish. So this phrase means that the club has ended the contract and let the manager go. And that's another phrase to describe a sacking. To let a manager go sounds a little softer than axed, but it has the same meaning. The manager has been fired or sacked. The club can also show the manager the door, or maybe give them their marching orders, or sometimes give the manager the elbow, or give the manager the boot. Though I think these phrases are a little more typical in newspaper headlines or reports.
Hello, my name is Marcelo. I'm from Brazil. I'm a fan of Vasco da Gama, and you are listening to languagecaster.com.
Do you know any other phrases connected to managers being sacked or fired? Or maybe you know some in other languages. If you do, then drop us a line at contact@learnenglishthroughfootball.com.
Yes, drop us a line and also tell your friends if you like our show. Thanks for that. Look at the language of sacking managers, Damien. I wonder who will be the long-term replacements for those managers who got their marching orders. And talking about looking into the future, it's time for our predictions this week. We will look at the 4th round of the FA Cup and the Scottish Premiership.
당신은 랭귀지 캐스터를 듣고 있습니까?
Our first match is Macclesfield, who host Premier League side Brentford. Macclesfield are in the 6th tier of football in England, over 100 places lower than Brentford. Can they pull off another upset? Damien?
Okay, so non-league side Macclesfield will face Premier League Brentford in one of the big ties of the round. It's the 4th round. On paper, it should be an easy win for Brentford, who are currently 7th in the Premier League, but Macclesfield have already dumped the holders out of the competition in the last round. They beat Crystal Palace. Surely it won't happen again. I don't think it will, as Brentford are playing well and are looking forward to a cup run. Maybe 3-0 to Brentford for me.
I agree. Lightning doesn't strike twice. As you said, Brentford will be hoping for a good cup run, and I think they will field a fairly strong team and win this comfortably 2-0. Next is a big game in the Scottish Premiership, with Hearts of Midlothian visiting Rangers.
This is a big one in Scotland, with Hearts top of the table facing Rangers in 2nd place. The Edinburgh side, Hearts, are 5 points clear of Rangers, so will be hoping to protect or extend their lead against a Rangers team that is playing much better than at the start of the season. I have a good friend, John, who's a Hearts fan, so I'm going for a Hearts 2-1 win, which will hopefully help Hearts win their first title since 1960. That's before even Tottenham.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I think playing at home will give Rangers an advantage. I don't think they'll win, but I don't think they'll lose. So 1-1 for me. Okay, Those are our predictions, and listener, why don't you practice your predictions language with us? What do you think will happen in any games that you're watching this week, or the ones we've talked about? Let us know by coming along to our site or on any of our social media sites. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and many more.
And remember, our website has a huge glossary of football terms with hundreds of expressions, phrases, and cliches about the beautiful game of football. And we have just posted a new page with lots of our weekly football expressions from the past 20 years. Let us know what you think. And of course, tell all your friends about us and give us a like on your favorite podcast and social media platforms.
شما دارید گوش میدید به languagecaster.com.
Yes, that message was in Persian, and well done if you got that right. We have also heard messages in Italian, Bemba, a Vasco da Gama fan from Brazil, Korean, and German. Right, let's take a quick look at some of the words and phrases from this week's show. Sacked, fired, axed, let go, and to call time on. All used when a manager loses his or her job. Thanks for listening. Enjoy all the football this weekend, and we'll be back with another football expression next week. Ta-ra!
Bye-bye.